Good morning and welcome to Fujitsu Forum, where over the next 2 days Fujitsu will welcome over 12,000 delegates through their doors to understand about digital co-creation, the importance within business today and how we can make a transformational impact within your companies back home. If you're a technology strategist, you absolutely want to pay attention to the broadcast we're doing on Facebook over the next 2 days. We're going behind the scenes of Forum and we're doing that by vertical market. The aim is to ask the challenging questions that you're all facing in industry right now and get key opinion piece on what the answer to those challenges is. This morning I've got one of Fujitsu's finest with me, Mr. James Maynard. We're going to start with insurance this morning. Yep. Internet of Things, first coined as a phrase back in '99, but it really hit mainstream business 7-8 years ago. How's the insurance industry tapping into Internet of Things today?
So I think we're beginning to see the beginning of that engagement, really. So we've seen insurance companies probably over the last 5 years really begin to pick up and look at driver safety, how individuals are driving, and how to take that kind of data and take some understanding and learning from it and see how that can then be applied to the insurance premiums that are being offered. But as we've seen the Internet of Things and IoT grow and begin to see things like worker safety and also driver safety platforms be developed for B2B enterprise environments, actually we're now beginning to see how can the impacts of insurance be felt across those and developed over the kind of next coming couple of years. Interesting.
So as far as sort of Fujitsu is concerned, what's the opportunity for your team? We were talking earlier about sort of shaping business cases. Your digital co-creation message is obviously going to be key to this element. So what's the opportunity for Fujitsu?
So I think here really is that Fujitsu has a unique end-to-end solution when it comes to IoT. Especially when we think about kind of the wearable technology through our IoT platform and then offering the interface at the other end. But with all of the IoT solutions, it's really about the value of data. So it's about what can we do with that data once it's been collected. Now actually, that gives us a huge round of opportunities, whether that be for a business to look at how they optimize things or whether it be an insurance business to understand the levels of risk and how to mitigate risk. And once you have that insight and learning, then we can begin to look at the business case and how those insurance premiums could be set against it.
What's the opportunity for Internet of Things? How impactful and how far could IoT go within the insurance market? I'm assuming we're nowhere near the kind of plateau point yet. Sounds like it's in its infancy.
Yeah, so I think IoT we've talked about for many years. IoT previously big data, and we probably talk about it as a fourth wave being AI, but actually it's all data. It's all about what we're doing with that data. So IoT is just the connection of people, information and things. So actually, once we're collecting that data using some form of analog collection point, whether it be a wearable or any other form of sensor in the particular environment, once we've got that data, we can do whatever we want with it. And actually, that will continue to progress as we collect it and understand how we can harness that data and then begin to apply it into deep machine learning and AI and other things. So that will just continue to evolve, if you like, rather than there's not going to be a new revolution around IoT. We might have another name for it as it begins to progress, as we have done over many years, but actually it's just an evolution of that collection and gathering of data.
I guess for the people watching this that aren't within the insurance industry, from a consumer's perspective, the easiest explanation, easiest example is the little black box. Drive like a girl, I think, is one of the insurance propositions, but using the data and machine learning to assess driver quality, so lower premiums come to the driver, that's a great example, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think it's a really tangible example, and it's a really quick and easy one to look at. And we're looking at things like driver fatigue as an example, and about how we can look at driver fatigue and the level of risk of fatigue and the impacts on commercial fleets. And then that has an immediate knock-on effect to the level of risk associated with falling asleep at the wheel, personal liability and insurance claims around those individuals, but also then the kind of bent metal, if you like, of the vehicles themselves. And And that doesn't change if we then begin to look at lone working and worker safety in the field. There are always new insurance claims, whether that be tanker drivers that are carrying heavy pipes on a particular shoulder for 20 years, that will then make a claim at a later point against the organisation about they shouldn't have been carrying them. Actually, we need to look at the exertion levels and lots of other factors, and that data is allowing us to do that and give insurance industry that kind of insight.
Interesting. Last question, your key proposition here over the next couple of days, digital co-creation. I know you get asked this question many, many times, but could you summarise what digital co-creation is for us, for the people watching, to understand the Fujitsu message?
I think for me, digital co-creation is, we don't come to you with a fixed solution. We don't come to you with a particular piece of technology. What we come to you is, we come to you to have a conversation. And that conversation is to understand what the challenges you are facing to try and differentiate in your particular market, whether that be insurance or whether that be any other vertical sector. Once we understand that challenge, we can then begin to say, well, actually, we've got this piece of technology, we've got this platform, and we can then co-create a solution that works. And actually what we have in a digital world is the ability to be very creative and very scalable, whereas previous years, industrial revolutions, we lacked that creativity, but we had a huge scalability. So we're back to the point where we can creatively scale things, and having that conversation allows us to do that for each individual business challenge.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time. Really do appreciate that. We're going to be live on Facebook throughout the next 24 hours. We've got a number of interviews coming up later today. Up next, interestingly, is the customer view. So we're going to put some questions to some experts here at Forum. The digital co-creation message you just heard about, how is it benefiting the customer, and why are customers taking that back into their business and moving the agenda on? That's coming up shortly. But for now, thanks for watching. Back to you shortly.